Hey friends, how are you doing this evening? Happy Monday. Welcome to my live. And if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. And don't forget to put hashtag replay in the comments. Speaking of comments, tell me hi. Tell me where you're watching from. I also want to let you know that I am live in 3 locations this evening. I'm live on my Facebook business page. I'm live on my YouTube channel. And I'm also live in my private Facebook group. And I tell you that just so that you aren't confused. If you hear me refer to a comment that you don't see in your feed, that viewer is watching and commenting on a different platform. Also, if you are watching from my private Facebook group, if you wouldn't mind giving StreamYard access to your profile name and pic, that way you show up under your profile name instead of Facebook user in my comments, and I know who to say hi to. Speaking of saying hi, I see that Jason is watching from the other side of the door, so welcome. Again, as you come into the live or the replay, say hi in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. And I think that is all of the announcements for now. I hope everyone has had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. Saturday, we did a little bit of an impromptu road trip. Did a little bit of crafty shopping, did a little test drive of a sporty car that my husband's looking at, and then stayed in bed all day yesterday with the migraine. So it was a good weekend, but it wasn't a great Sunday, but glad for a new week, and I'm all ready for another weekend. How about you? So with that, I'm going to look over here, and I'm going to go to the overhead. And I do have some new product, but I think I might wait and see if a few people hop on before I show those new products. Maybe we'll do those at the end. So I'll just push those to the side. Need to bring my water over a little closer. Oops, that was weird. Okay, so I'm just going to hop into the project tonight. So I have this new transfer. It is one that came out in the spring summer release. It's called Home is Where My Plants Are. So if you happen to be a plant lady or crazy for plants, this will be a great transfer for you. It is a B-size transfer, so it's 8.5 by 11. These are reusable about 8 to 12 times depending on how well you take care of them. They are a sticky back adhesive transfer, so there is adhesive on the back. And anywhere you see the white or clear areas, that is where the silk screen material is. Because these are reusable, I like to denote that this is indeed the back. This one's drying up, so I might as well throw it away. Get a different one. So I'm just putting the title, that's where my plants are, on the back. That way I know that this is the back side of the transfer. And because I might be using 2 transfers, I know that this transfer will go on the back of this carrier sheet. And I know that this Hug Me goes on the back of this transfer sheet. So we'll put this one to the side. And I'm going to be using these, hopefully using these chalkboards from the Target Bulleye playground. They are older, so don't try to run out to Target and see if you can find some. I'm sure these are from 3, 4, 5 years ago, but I have quite a stash of them from one of my friends who was a designer that retired. So these were in the stash of stuff that she gave me. Because these are not Chalk Couture surfaces, I am going to wax them. They are also supposed to be 2-sided. This side has a little bit of a texture, so I'm going to stick to this smoother side. And like I said, I am going to wax them because I'm not for sure if it's an actual chalkboard. I'm not for sure if this is painted on. I'm not for sure if it's a paper-based chalkboard. So to ensure that my transfer does not get wrecked, or the surface get wrecked, I'm going to use some wax. And I'm just using the Couture wax applicator. So I've got a little bit on my little round here. And I'm just going to rub that in. And what this is going to do is it's going to create kind of a barrier between my transfer and the surface to ensure that my transfer doesn't stick so hard that it pulls up whatever surface this chalkboard might be. It's also kind of getting into any nooks and crannies that I might not be able to see. So I'm just kind of buffing this in. I'm going to flip this over and use the clean side and really get that buffed in. Your surface should almost feel kind of be shiny and slick once you get that wax good and buffed. Well, Couture does sell a surface wax, but it is out of stock right now. So I'm just using a min wax, which technically it's my favorite, but let's see if you can see a difference between this one's got quite a sheen on it now. It's a little bit more shiny. It's very slick. And it's a very smooth surface now. I just stuck my finger in that. So we'll let that one dry. We'll go ahead and wax this other one up. It doesn't take much. Actually, it waxes up really well. So I'm just gonna buff that out. Preferably without the tag. Try to get that good and buffed in. Ooh, that gives your arm a workout. Okay, so those are nice and buffed, so I'm going to put that away. And my table doesn't get all jumped up any more than it already is. If you could see the other half of my table, whew, it's kind of embarrassing. Okay, so now, because this is a brand new transfer and this isn't a surface I'm sure about, I'm going to fuzz my transfer. So I'm just bringing in a terry cloth towel. And I'm going to pull the transfer off of the carrier sheet. And if you've ever done any Cricut or Cameo adhesive decals, you know you have to weed those little boogers. So these, all of those inside pieces stay intact. So right here, all of those little pieces are intact, and I did not have to do any weeding. So I can immediately start creating my design without doing any cutting or weeding. So I'm just laying it down on this terry cloth towel to pick up a tiny bit of lint from the towel. And that will also keep my transfer from sticking to my surface, since I don't really know what this is made out of. And I am going to leave a bit of a gap at the bottom because I want to add some embellishments. So I'm just kind of trying to line it up. In fact, I'm going to flip it over so I can see the back side, or the top side, a little better. That's pretty good. It's a little little bit crooked, but so now I'm just gonna kind of burnish it down. Oops, burnished it a bit too hard. I'm gonna burnish it down and make sure it's stuck to my surface and there aren't any air bubbles. And I like to do that with my fingers. That way I can kind of feel for any air bubbles. Now there can be air bubbles out here, but I don't want any in my silkscreen areas. Okay. I knew I wanted to do this transfer tonight, but I'm still really perplexed as to what colors I want to use. I know I've got different greens here for the succulents. So I have eucalyptus, pesto, jade, and meadow. I could throw in some teal, but that might be too bright of a color. And then I thought for some of the pots, I've got the new Sunset Drive, which is kind of a light terracotta color. And then I have Shimmer Melon, which I just got in today. It's very close to the Sunset Drive. I also have Peachy Keen. And then I have Dune and White, but I might do White for the letters. I think that's a pretty good palette. So I think we'll stick with that. So I just got to figure out what I want to do first. And I'll just probably I could do some hot mess, but I may not. I may just stick one color per succulent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 10 and I have 4 colors. So I'll do I'll do most of them twice and then do 2 of them 3 times. If you guys have any suggestions about colors, let me know. Some squeegees out. Get a couple of little ones. Okay. Decisions. Okay. Okay, so this is Eucalyptus, and it's brand new because my other one was getting dried up. And then we've got, Jason says he liked what I picked. And there's pesto. Jade, which jade and eucalyptus are, I guess, take that off. They're pretty similar. Just jade's just a darker version of eucalyptus. And then meadow might need a little bit of water. A lot of my pastes are older. So over time the older ones will harden a bit. But the newer formula is supposed to not seize up, kind of like the older formula did. But if you have some of the older ones and they get a little dry, you just add a little bit of distilled water to them and they should reconstitute. got to give it a little bit of TLC every now and then. A little bit more. Oops. Okay, that one's pretty good. Okay. I just got to figure out what my game plan is going to be. We do all the greenery first. Paste the boogers off. So I'm going to do a lot of pasting and pulling because chalk paste, it goes on wet, but it dries hard. It dries semi-permanent. The one thing you have to remember is you don't want your paste to dry in the silk screen, because if it dries before you have a chance to peel it up, when you peel up all of the transfer, it's going to peel up your paste. So I'm going to paste small sections, peel that up, and then I'll go on and paste other sections. So I'm going to be doing a lot of pasting and pulling. I just got to figure out my game plan here. Okay, so I think I'm just going to kind of go random. So I'm going to start with my eucalyptus. I think I'll do the second one, eucalyptus. So I'm just pulling up or picking up the paste with my squeegee. And I'm just dragging it across the silkscreen material, trying to avoid getting it on the pot. Okay, so then the next one I'm going to go ahead and do this first one, and then we'll peel those up. I thought this was going to be a quick project, but I may have lied to myself. Okay, so what I'm doing is I got all my squeegee lines out. I wiped off all the excess. I'm just going to pull that up. And actually, I'm going to dry it before I put that back down. My eucalyptus did not like that wax, but it made kind of a really neat effect. So I'm just going to gently place that down, and I'm going to burnish. Even though I'm not doing those just right now, I'm going to burnish where those pots need to go. Okay, so we'll do the next two. Let's stick with the smaller one. So I'm going to do, let's do jade on this bigger one, the larger one over here. I'm going to turn it to the side a little bit. So I'm just dragging it across. Normally I like to go up and down, but because I have to watch out for the pots, I'm just going to do a little side to side. So I'm just trying to pick up the excess, and then we'll get some of the pesto And we'll do this cactus. Okay, wipe the excess off. Now we'll pull those two up. We'll dry those. Okay, so we'll just keep going around the design, and I'm going to do all of the succulents first. So I think I'll come back and we'll do jade over here. This does kind of look like, actually, because it does look like a, oh no, that's a, we'll go ahead and we'll do jade right here. And then come down and do this big one. Probably should have picked a bigger squeegee. Yeah, looking sharp so far, but bum. Nice little punny joke there, dear. See what you did there? Okay, so I'll peel this side up. And we'll get that dry. So this is what you call the paste and peel method. Just so I can keep from having all of my paste dry in the silk screen. Jason says he didn't even think of that. He wasn't even trying to be punny. Okay. So now we'll come back up here and we'll do this one. So I haven't done eucalyptus or meadow. So we'll do meadow on this one. And then we'll come in and do eucalyptus on the next one. We'll pull those two off. eucalyptus it's actually beating up on the wax, and so it's creating this weird texture, but it's actually really neat because it makes it look dimensional. I went over a bit on a few of these, so now that it's dry I can touch it up. I can just take it off with a wet Q-tip, maybe. We'll dry that again. Okay. So then, what do I need to bring down? So pesto. Maybe we'll do meadow here. Maybe. I think we'll do meadow here. Try to make it go light, dark, light, dark. So I'm just going to put the excess back in, and then we'll do jade right here in the middle. And sometimes for me it helps to go from the bottom of the design up. That way I'm not getting the paste into the pot area of the design. Okay, so let's pull those two up. Okie doke, so let's, sorry about that. I'm just going to get a wipe out. Put my squeegees on here. That way I can reuse the squeegees. But I want to close up my green paste so that they don't dry out. Try that out. Okay. So now I'm just going to clean these up. That way I can reuse them for my pot colors. Maybe. How's everyone doing out there? Make sure you spread the chalk love around Facebook and YouTube land. Okay. This is one of the reasons why I love Couture products. It's such easy cleanup. You can reuse the same squeegee if you really wanted to. Okay, so now let's open these. This one is not a new color, but I haven't had it for a while. It's Peachy Keen. Mine actually completely faded to white. So I got a new one. This is that new Sunset Drive. See if I can get all that off of the tin foil. Beautiful color. It's kind of a lighter, more subdued Couture coral or guava, I think, yeah. And then this is the shimmer melon. I don't know if I really want to use it, but because I don't have any other shimmers. But if you want to see what it looks like, it's a really pretty shimmery color. I don't think I'm going to use it just because I don't have any. Maybe I will, if I do this one, maybe I'll do a hot mess technique with it and Sunset Drive on the pot. I think that would be really pretty. Okay, doke. So now I'm going to go back through and make sure that my pots are all stuck down. And I think they are. This one's a little... Okay, so I have 3 colors and 10 pots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one will have 3, one will have 4. But I think I need to add some more to that one. Just a little bit. Hopefully I can get it. I may not. I may have to pick a different color. There it goes. Sometimes you just gotta get down into the bottom and get it. So get it. You're kind of getting some air in there too. So you'll kind of stir it into this little ball, and then it'll start to kind of pick up some of that moisture and flatten back out. It really acts a lot like, kind of like bread dough when you're, but yet it does kind of flatten out of that ball eventually. Oops. That was mixed up. Okay. So let's get our little squeegees back out. And I think I'm going to start with this Sunset Drive color because it is gorgeous. So again, I'm just picking up the paste with my squeegee. And I'm just dragging it across the silk screen material. I'm just going to try to get my squeegee lines out. I'm also picking up the excess so I can save it for another project or another pot in this case. So then I think we'll pick up some of this dune color. We'll do this pot. Take off the excess. I'm probably being a little excessive with the paste and pull, but I don't want to take any chances. It doesn't hurt anything. I'm going to burnish this next one down. And we'll get some of this peachy keen. I'm just going to pull it right off the foil. I forgot what color I was using. I'm going to turn this around so I can kind of see what I'm doing. Pull off the excess. And then I think we'll come back to sand or dune, whichever color this is. I'll do this one. So we'll pull those two off. I probably should have done sunset right there. Okay. So then we'll do sunset dry here. Really pretty color. This around. Let's see what I'm doing. Put the excess back in, and then let's pull out some peach keen and get that off of the foil. Don't need that much or that much. And as you play around with the products, you kind of get a feel for how little and how much you need. A little bit usually goes a long way. Okay, so I'm going to flip that back around. I'm going to pull these two off. burnish these back down. Okay, so I think I'll do Dune on this one. Do not need that much. Flip it around again. Let's see what I'm doing. Okay. I think because this is such a big pot, I want to use Sunset Drive on it because it's such a pretty color. I'll go back in and even out my squeegee lines. I can. It's kind of hard to do with such a little squeegee. Okay, and then we'll do Peachy Keen on this one. Let's see if I can quickly do Dune in one fell swoop. Ooh, that is thick. It's so thick I can't get the excess off. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and peel it all the way off. And we'll put it back on for the words here in a little bit. Super cute. Very boho with the orange tones. So I'm just going to roughly place this back. It doesn't have to be totally perfect. So I'm just going to go in and burnish where the words are, making sure those are down smooth. So now I'm kind of second guessing myself. Jason says that looks great. You're so good with colors. Now Couture makes it easy to pick coordinating colors. But thank you. Should I stick with white for the words, or should I maybe go in with the Dune? I could also bring in the Shimmer Melon, but I still kind of think I should go with white, but I just don't want it to be too I don't want it to be very stark. I don't know. Just going to leave that on for right now. So I don't know. White. I I'm maybe going to put this ribbon on. I don't know if white would look weird with that. Let's pull the catalog out and see what. Let's see maybe what they did. When in doubt, pull the catalog out. So home is where my plants are, on page 16. They did white. Theirs are more darker, they're darker jewel tones, but they still used white for the words. So I think that's what we'll do. So I think we'll stick with white. Okay. I thought, yeah, I did grab it. Let's open up our white. Looks pretty good. It's maybe a little on the thick side, but okay. So I'm just going to use a larger squeegee. And I'm just going to drag it down the silk screen area. Kind of keeping in mind where my other designs are, because I don't want to go into my plants or my pots after all that work we put into it. So I'm going to take the excess off and then work on evening out my squeegee lines, because those will show when you take off your transfer. Okay, so now let's see what it looks like. That's my favorite part, pulling the transfer off. Okay, so I'm going to let that soak a tad because all of that green dried in there. In fact, I'm going to give it a little swoosh on the bottom of my water tub over here. Okay, so let's get a towel out. Put that away. Okay, we're done with those for right now. So let's dry this. Uh-oh. Got a little chocolate booger. Ah. I'm just going to leave it for right now, and I'll pick it out later. Okay, now let's see if we can get that little plant or paint paste booger out. Nope, it dried on there. Oh, I got it. Kind of. I'll have to go back in there with I'm just getting a really fine paintbrush. And I'm just going to put a little bit of water in my lid. And it doesn't matter that the water gets back into the chalk paste. I just want to be able to paint this on. Might have put too much water in there. Okay, fixed it. Okay, now I'll dry that little spot. Then I have a few little spots where I bled a little bit, or my paste bled. So I'm just going to take the rubber pointed end of the detail tool, and I'm just going to literally scratch some of that excess away. Okay. So I just need to add some embellishments, but there is our home is where my plants are. Oops, and I got waters from something. Oh, from my paintbrush. Okay. Now I don't know. That might be too much cactus. So we may just do some twine just to keep it simple. I'm just going to wrap some of my thicker jute twine across the bottom just to give it some texture and a little bit of little something something. I'm toying with even sanding down this base a little bit just to really age it up. So I'm going to kind of put it over here towards the side, and I'm just pulling it really tight. It'd actually be really pretty to paint some of my beads, the pot colors, but I don't think I'm going to do that tonight. I think I'll make a few more of these, and then when I do that, I will paint some beads, but not on this one tonight. So then I'm just going to make my little jute loop bow. So I've left a tail, so I'm just going to make my loops, maybe about 4 on each side. And then hold that thought, because I'm going to put one of these tails through all of these just to kind of cinch them together. That way it doesn't pull one strand up. That way they're kind of all connected. And then you can kind of separate them a little bit more, especially on this side where they're all bunched up. So I'm just separating them. So there is that. Super cute. Now let's see. I hope I don't ruin it. Actually, well, I'm going to flip it up on its bottom. Yeah. Now let's just go ahead and sand it. Except I'm going to get a paper towel out. So let's just see what happens when we distress this stand. So I just have my little finger sander here. This one's easier for me to use than those block sanders. Oh yeah. You could chalk on the base. You could paint it. Okay. Did a little bit, not a whole lot. It did better on the top side than it did the bottom side. So there's the base all kind of roughed up. Okay. So now let's flip it back down this way. We'll go to the full screen. Jason says, that's awesome. Find my mouse here. So now I gotta find my cursor. Uh-oh. There. I couldn't find my cursor there for a little bit. So here's what we made. Cute little home is where my plants are. So if you're into plants, this would be a great one. Can't see a lot of the color. It's really washed out, but yeah, it's super cute. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off for the evening. This back here. I will be live again on Wednesday at 7:15. I will also be live on Saturday. And then if you're local to the Salina area, it is vendor bingo again on Saturday night. Doors open at 6. Bingo starts at 7. And all of the bingo game prizes are donated by the participating vendors. The vendors will be open for some shopping before the games start and between games and during some breaks. There's usually yummy food from the kitchen, so kind of think bowling alley food, the greasy, yummy food. So grab your favorite gals, grab your favorite guy. Jason and I use it kind of as our date night. But yeah, come hang out with me, play some bingo, win some prizes, do some shopping. Easter, Mother's Day is around the corner, hint, hint. So that would be a great time to get some of your shopping done. But if I don't see you there, hopefully I'll see you at one of my lives or in the replay in the comments on Wednesday or Saturday. But thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.